Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 11 of the Badlands Plains series. In the last episode we finished phase 1 of the Aqueduct. You can see that we have everything constructed over here, and now we are working on phase 2, which will be extending all the way over here. And once we get the levees in place, then we can look at starting to get some of the water pumps put in here. Although I'm just now realizing as I constructed this that I made this thing super wide instead of necking it down. Great. Well, there might be some reconstruction happening in this episode, so we're going to pause it before the beavers get too much farther along. And I want to keep it more narrow instead of this wide the whole way because I am thinking about putting in some water wheels. In my other series, Rigger Ridge, we did the same thing. We had some water pumps, and then we were able to put in some water wheels which would capture a little bit of the power that the water was producing. Although we will need to remove the paths, and then maybe putting in some power shafts on here, and then putting some of these platforms along the top will make the most sense. Although before we start putting in the water wheels over here, we need to rearrange everything that I have constructed over here. So we're going to have to go ahead and replace all of these levees over here. And the hard part is deleting stuff that we've already put in. Thankfully we haven't constructed too much of the scaffolding over here, so we won't be losing too much time with this. The part that's going to be the hardest is getting rid of these levees right here. And so here we go. Oh man. A lot of beaver hours are being wasted. It was definitely the supervisor's fault. He overlooked the design flaws. And so I think that should be good for the construction of everything, although we're going to get rid of a couple of these just so that the beavers won't trap themselves. I hate having to deal with that. And you can see these guys were getting ready to go construct something over on this side, but now they cannot. We'll let the beavers start working on that, although we do want to have all of this lowered on the priority list. And it looks like the breeding pods did finish producing some babies, so we can remove these. And we already have these two set up over here. Plus we got some more houses constructed in the last episode. Now we have 18 free beds, and we actually have an unemployed beaver. We can look at getting another builder's hut over here. Just get a platform set up, and then we can fit in another builder's hut. If we get this constructed quicker, then we'll have some of those new beavers who will be growing up soon. We have 9 babies, and so we'll probably actually want to get a few jobs set up for them. So we're going to stick with builder's huts for now. We do have some fermenters that will be used in the future, since we have some of these cassavas that are planted, and they will be growing up in just a couple days. These guys are doing okay on food. We need to get some more storage, which is why I want to relocate these 2 breeding pods. Then we can also get a couple rooftop terraces placed over here. That will allow the beavers to enjoy some leisure. And they finished that really quickly. We'll get some more fermented cassava storage, and then we'll also get fermented soybeans, which they have none of right now. And we haven't planted any quite yet, but in this episode we will be turning these on as soon as the drought is over. That's going to make a lot of green space over here, and we'll have these farmers expand their planting zone. We can probably also, well, maybe we should relocate this one since we haven't put any logs into it yet. We can move that over here, and that will allow these beavers to reach all this food plus all the green space over here. And we're still doing fantastic on wood, 3,000, and there's still a lot of trees that need to be chopped down. We have several storage piles that are completely maxed out, and I'm seeing beavers come over here. What are they working on? Are they just filling up? And they might be filling up these storages over here. Okay, well that's not really efficient since they're not going to be using these at all. So we're going to switch this to supply. We don't need to fill these up anymore. I haven't used these a whole lot. I have used the empty feature a bit, but obtain is useful for when you have haulers to bring the wood over here, and then the builders can use the wood to construct a nearby construction project. And back in Alpha City we are getting this whole plateau constructed. This is where we're going to place some of these monuments. This one, it takes quite a bit of science. We only have 2,000 right now, and we need 12,000 in total. Also takes a lot of power, but this is going to be going probably somewhere right around here, which should spread to most of the houses, and then we'll get these other couple monuments placed on the sides here. So we do have some unemployed beavers in this district, although we will be putting them in these water pumps pretty shortly. And you can see the water level has dropped quite a bit, but that is exactly why we have this whole reservoir to be able to supply water during the droughts. And in the name of efficiency, we are going to move this path ever so slightly over here. As soon as we get these constructed, then we can get rid of these other zigzagging paths. We do have a lot of vacant jobs now that we have all these builders' huts constructed, so we'll pause. Let's pause a couple of these for now. These are really here for the future when we have a lot more beavers growing up. And with the drought just about over, we will be able to unpause these mechanical water pumps, although we will need to get this power shaft put in here first. So they'll get this constructed in the morning, and then as soon as the water starts filling up the reservoir and is going out this direction, then we can make sure that these are pumping water in here. Because the water level here is super low, we don't want to pull any water out of this into this area yet. Although we can lower this a little bit, that's going to help the water come back a little bit quicker. These beavers are actually going through dirt pretty quickly, so now we're prioritizing this building by haulers, and they're doing a pretty good job of getting all this constructed over here. We finally have enough gears in this district since they finished constructing this last engine and they finished the mechanical water pumps. So now we can probably pause one of these, although we should get some more gear storage. And thankfully the water still hasn't run out. I don't know how these beavers are swimming in this. They are basically crawling. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're literally crawling. The water level is really low, and hopefully this starts filling up just a little bit faster. You could even be a little sneaky and let some of the water start spilling through this one little gap. And you can see the beavers are starting to fill in the beds over here. But we only have one job that's unoccupied now, so we can go ahead and start unpausing some of these builder huts. And they are already getting some of the scaffolding set up over here. They're not really focused on the logs for picking up because apparently there is no storage. Seems like all the beavers would want to use the logs from these buildings. I don't know if they are though. They're going pretty much every direction. Oh, and I guess the water is already getting pumped in here. They did construct this one power shaft. So let this fill up a little bit. We're going to keep an eye on it though, because there is no emergency spillway. We could set up one right between here, although that would reduce the capacity for how much water it could hold in here. But it does look like that it doesn't quite reach all the way over here in terms of the irrigation effect. And it does look like the water is fully spilling over here, so we can move that back up. Now all the water should be going out at the same level. And there's quite a few beavers and bots running over here. Are they still filling this up? It might honestly be worth just removing these storages for now, and then we'll do the same for this one. But now I think we can start pausing these mechanical water pumps. This is a good amount of water to have in here for now. And I think that we'll probably need to get one more of these set up. We're going to go ahead and get another fluid dump set up over here. That's going to fill in this area. And now we have a lot of unemployed beavers. They are not in this district. Oh, that's in this district because everything's flooded. Let's start unpausing these. The flooding is normally pretty cyclical in this district. I think it has something to do with this under here. Let's see if we can take a look at that. So you can see the water does come up into this area. And it also, I think, has something to do with the dams over here. For some reason the dams like to bounce water back a lot, and then that causes a huge shock. We have to come up the channel, and then it causes the flooding. And they got this constructed super quickly, although we do have like 5 builders huts, so not surprised. Now we just need to get a fluid dump set up, and now we can get some roofs placed over here. I know in this district You can see that there will being, I don't think they have a lot of access to roofs. Looks like there's only 10 beavers who have that section satisfied. So we'll try and get that number bumped up a little bit. Put one here and they'll probably put another one over here as well. Then we're going to get another monument set up since this one only reaches over here. This one will help satisfy some of the beavers in this area. And it does look like we are starting to get some cassavas, but I don't think that they are able to use those yet, so we'll need to get, let's turn this on and have it selected too for many cassavas. But we don't need all of these engines running. So we just have one now, and then these guys should be getting cassavas. Yeah, that's what it is right here. Okay, looks like he went to go collect some. And we might as well get this other guy set to that right now. Turn that on. And for some reason this guy, he's carrying wood around. I don't exactly know why. Hopefully he's actually coming back to this job, and then we'll actually start pumping water into here. So now it's just a little bit of a waiting game. We're gonna let the beavers work for a couple of days, and I will see you in just a second. It has been a couple of days and the beavers are making excellent progress on this second part of the aqueduct. We just have these two levels started. We will want to continue it all the way over to here, and then I think we're going to blast out with some dynamite a channel over this way, and then we'll take a right, and then we will start going over this direction. We will need to get another district set up, but that is not for today. Maybe in the next couple episodes we can look at where we want to get that placed. I'm guessing it'll probably be going over this direction. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I think it would be excellent to get some of these large water wheels placed. We will need to fill in some of this area over here because we only want it to be 2 tiles deep. That way the water will not be going underneath the water wheels. And since I'm pretty sure only bots can place dirt, we will want to have the bots of Alpha District help construct all this stuff. So we'll start by getting some stairs placed over here. Then we can start placing some levees every 4 tiles. And then we'll be able to start fitting in some of these large water wheels. No, it's not every 4 tiles since these are 5 wide. And to make the construction easier for all of the power shafts that we're going to be putting in, having this row of platforms on the top will let us put them underneath like this, but we're going to hold off on putting the power shafts in for now. Although I do want to make sure that this is lowered on the priority list. In fact, we'll make that at the very bottom because we don't want the beavers of Bravo City diverting their attention too much from this stuff over here. In fact, I think we're going to probably bump these back up in terms of priority. That way the beavers can start focusing on this a little bit more, at least from this district. I don't think the beavers of Alpha City are working on anything else except for, oh nice, looks like they did finish this. So we can get some monuments placed, although we have not anywhere near enough science, so we'll have to keep waiting on that, at least for this large monument. And we also placed some soybeans over here, so these will take 8 days to grow up. But we will be able to start processing them as soon as they're ready, which means that we probably want to get another fermenter set up. And it looks like we do have some unemployed beavers in this district, and we have exactly 0 free beds and 0 homeless beavers. But that means that we need to get some more houses set up. So we'll get a couple of those set up pretty quickly, and then we'll give them maybe a little bit of decorations. It looks like this bot is, where is he going? Oh, did he pick something up? What's he doing? He was wandering over this way, and then he turned around going this direction. But we're going to pause this once again. This is very full. And the beavers of Bravo City are making excellent progress. I don't know if it's quite the best route to go this way, although it looks like they haven't finished constructing any of this stuff over here. And we might as well start getting some of these deep mechanical water pumps set up because they have maxed out gears. We added in another storage and they're pretty much full. I ended up pausing a couple of these workshops since they didn't have any more room to put it. And back in Alpha City, looks like they actually have a couple, oh, the flooding is back. I think they had a couple unemployed beavers, so we can toss them in this builder's hut for now. And they are still working on bringing stuff over here. Looks like they're making pretty good progress getting all the dirt placed over here. We need to extend this path though. So I guess, okay, we haven't put anything in here so we can get rid of this. But we need to put the path in, that way they can reach everything, although they won't be able to. So let's get rid of these. And then high prioritize this. And we'll also have to get this one set up. So as soon as they can construct these, then they can build this dirt block and then get these platforms set up. So I think we're getting to the point where we should look at getting some more water pumpers set up, and then also look at increasing the storage capacity, because these do hold a good amount of water, but if we can get some large water storage set up, that'd be even better. So at this point we have how many? Looks like we have 9 builders huts right now, plus we have the district center. So we have 40 builders, and we are getting pretty close to wrapping this up. So we're going to start filling in these holes right here. Then we can also start getting some of these set up. We're also going to set up a charging station over here. We'll even set a few charging stations up over here, because there's so many bots that end up running out of power and then they have to go all the way here and then all the way back with no energy. So if we can get these prioritized, then that should be hopefully helping out in reducing how many bots are walking over here with no power. And it looks like the bots finished placing all the dirt over here, so now they're just constructing this, which they don't need to do that. We'll let the beavers of Bravo City do that, so we can get rid of this path. Then we can start putting in these large water bills again and low prioritize it. And I'm not a betting man, but I'm guessing that tomorrow there's going to be either a drought or a bad tide, and I'm leaning towards there's going to be a bad tide. So it looks like there is a drought approaching. Wasn't right. Not a bad tide. I do want to use this spillway again. It's pretty cool when the bad water goes through there. But we are in a pretty good spot. We got a couple more water pumpers set up, and then I'm getting some platforms placed over here because I want to get some more storage. And then we can also start getting this large water tank constructed. And I think prioritizing this makes sense. That way we can get just a little bit more water before the drought, although we do have quite a bit of water saved up here. And there is still one more deep water pump that we haven't quite finished constructing. And as soon as the beavers finish constructing these few remaining levees, there's only a handful left over here. Then we'll be finished with this part of stage 2, and then doing this much longer but not quite as tall section, and then we can start looking at getting some dynamite placed over here. And that is where we're going to wrap up today's episode. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.